Hey Muffins, I am back and this is a highly requested video. I've been asked quite a few times, how do you do your brows? So you guys have waited long enough and I'm back with a video to show you how I achieve these laid down brows. Now, disclaimer guys, I have very sparse brows as the title says, so if you have really sparse brows and you'd like to fill them in a way where they look natural and they're not overdrawn, then definitely keep on watching. This is a two-part series. Part one, I will share with you how I achieve my eyebrows as well as my eyes, and I am doing this in my bathroom, so forgive the shower curtain and rod behind you. I just wanted this to be as realistic as possible so I could show you guys how I get ready. I do not apply my makeup in front of a vanity right now because the lighting isn't together. So I get ready in my bathroom right in front of this mirror that's in front of me behind my camera, and yeah, so if you'd like to see how I achieve this look, definitely keep on watching part one, and then you're going to move on to part two for the complete face. This is a easy back to school look, everyday wearable, simple muted nude lip, very neutral eye. I wanted to make the brows the focal point of this face look today. So yeah, without further ado, let's get on into these brows. Okay dolls, so I'm coming to you guys fresh face. All I have on is one eyeshadow look and one eyebrow. As you guys can see, my brows are super sparse. They're almost obsolete. And this isn't anything that I've done to my brows. I've always had very little brows, okay? Now, I am standing underneath the light, so my forehead looks pretty shiny, but that's because the light is above me. Okay, so what you're going to need to achieve this eyebrow look is, I like to use two different spoolies. One has more sparse hairs or fibers, and one is more dense packed together. You're going to also need two brown pencils, and I like to use one dark and one light. Definitely sharpen them. You're also going to need an angle brush, and the one that I'm using is by e.l.f. It's just their simple detailed angle brush. I like to use, and this is optional, remember guys, everything that I'm going to explain to you guys in this tutorial is basically for how I do my brows. There isn't a specific way that I would suggest because everybody's brows are different. So I like to go for the more dramatic brows since my natural brows are pretty much, like I said, not there. So you're also going to need a primer. I'm using the Ruby Kisses Magic Potion Primer. And you're going to need a concealer, and it can be either lighter than your skin tone or close to your skin tone. I'm using the MAC Studio Fix in NW45. Okay, so there is another product that I put on my brows, but once again, this is optional. I also like to use the e.l.f. brow kit, and I only use the gel portion. So I've already primed my brow off camera, and the reason why I did that is because I like to let my primer dry. It comes on and it feels a little greasy or oily, so you don't want to have your pencil slipping. So I've already applied this primer to the entire lid and the brow because my brows get oily throughout the course of the day. So let's go ahead and get started. What I like to do is trace underneath the arch of my natural brow to create, you know, the arch of my brow. Now, for the brow that's already done, if you guys don't already know, I have two eyebrow piercings, which I don't always wear at work. So I have to be careful when drawing in my brows because I don't want the arch to be way too far where the brow rings would go. Now, your brow rings would typically go in the tail end of your brow, so I have to really draw in my brows and make them how I want them. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off by tracing underneath the brow, like so. You don't really have to be neat for this portion, and I pretty much stop where my brow arch begins. Okay. And then I'm going to go up on the top. So for the top, I like to do it with a little lighter hand. Like so. just bring it down on an arch, okay? Then you want your brows to sort of kind of match, so I'm sort of just bringing it in and then completing the tail, like that. So now you have two lines, an empty space, and what seems to be about to be a brow. So you want to make them match as much as possible. So just continue to fill in, and then I start to fill in the brow from the back end first. So what I'm doing is small strokes angled back, okay? Again, this doesn't have to be absolutely perfect because of course we're going to go in with concealer and fix it and clean it all up. So then I like to bring it just a little bit more, but not all the way to the very tip with this color, because you don't want your brows to be extremely too dark. Okay. Next, I'm going to go in with the lighter brown pencil, and I'm going to fill in the front portion of the brow. Okay, like so. And as you guys can see, you have like a boxy effect, and I do not want a boxy eyebrow. So I then go in with the more packed in bristles, and I spoolie my brows towards the other one, backwards. So what I'm doing is pulling the pencil that I just put there toward the other one to thin out the brow. Then I go in and I go the other way. Okay. Now you'll notice that they're not symmetrical, so I like to go in with the lighter pencil and just pull it closer in to the other brow and do the same on the top. Filling it in lightly. I'm going to go back in with the darker brown pencil and just fill in that gap here. Now, for these brows, concealer is your best friend. It is your best friend. But before we do that, I'm going to grab my larger spoolie. Forgive the sounds of the planes. My bathroom window door is open. And just brush in that pencil to make it more hair-like. Okay? Like so. Then I'm going to go backwards again in the front to thin it out. Now we're going to go in for some concealer. I'm grabbing my angle brush and I'm just dipping it in like so. You don't want to pick up too much because then you'll have to blend out a lot. So I just use a dab. Then I like to go in under the brow like so. And now I'm just pretty much shaping the eyebrow. Okay, dragging it out because I like a really large wing. And then with the concealer, I like to pull down to blend. You're going to fix the shape to your desired taste and then pull down to blend. Like so. Now, as you guys can see, this tail is a little choppy over here. I usually don't conceal on the top of my brows whatsoever. But I do go by the back end. I grab a little bit more concealer. And I like to go above only on the tail to sharpen it. Okay? And if you make a mistake, you can always go back in and darken it with your pencil. Okay? And then I'm like a perfectionist with my brows. I just want them to be like perfect all day long. So I go back in with the brown wherever I missed. And with my brows being so sparse, if I have a little extra hair, as you see there, I just grab the tweezer and pluck it. Okay, like so. Then if you feel your brow is a little bit thicker than the other one, you could manipulate it as much as you want to. But as you guys can see, I go from no brows to brows real quick. Okay. And then don't forget to blend that concealer out. You don't want a harsh line there at all. Okay? Okay. Next, I'm going to grab my little tweezer because I see a hair that's like getting on my nerves. And I'm just going to pluck it. Every day I draw my eyebrows in different. Sometimes I change the shape. So, as I said, I have naturally thin brows with the exception of the extra hairs that grow in. I just pluck them off. And now I feel this tail is a little bit sharper than this tail, so I'm just going to go back in and clean it up. That's why I love concealer. Like so. Once that's done, I go in with my e.l.f. brow gel. And you just want to take like a small brush. Today I'm using the Makeover Essentials concealer brush. It's a detailed concealer brush. And I just dip it in the gel, and I want to lay down my natural hairs, whatever's there. So I just add it, and then I lay down the hairs. And that is how I achieve these brows. Yes, so if you want to see how I get the rest of this look and do something with this face and put on some foundation and some highlight, then just keep on watching. Okay, for the eye look, what I want to do is make the brows the star of the show. So I'm really going to do a simple eye, as you guys can see, just a little bit of a lighter lid color, a little bit of brown on the outer V or purple. And yeah, and because this video is running so long, and I'm sure you guys don't want to watch me for this long, I'm probably going to break up the face and the eyes into two different videos. So I'm going to finish the eyes, and then we're going to go on to part 2 if you want to see the face. So let's go ahead and get started for the eyes. I've already primed the eyes, as you guys know, when I did the brow. So I'm going to go in with that same Studio Fix concealer, just using a simple brush. It's an angled brush, but I'm not using it for my brows. Just going to pack on some of this concealer just to lighten up my mobile lid area. And I am going to bring it a little bit up towards the brow. I'm going to use this as my eyeshadow base so that my shadows can stick. I'm going to blend this out with my finger, just like that. People always ask me, how do you do anything with long nails? Darling, I don't use my nails to do my makeup. I use my fingers. It may get in the way if someone's watching me, but this is how it's done. And once again, just so you guys can see the quality and the clarity of this video, I'm not speeding it up. So unfortunately, hopefully you guys can bear with me. Okay, next I'm going to go in with a close to my natural skin tone color. This is Black Radiance Pressed Powder in Bronze Glow. And I'm just going to take a blending brush and start working this color into my crease. I like to blow my crease out. As you guys can see, I extend it a little bit further than my natural eye shape just to give me a more almond-shaped eye. Windshield wiper motions, I'm just sweeping in this color. Now to you guys on film, you probably don't even see anything picking up, which is good. Sometimes I like a really natural transition. Just helps your colors to blend in a little bit better. Okay, and once I build that up just a little bit, and I am bringing it in towards the nose, kind of carves out my nose contour as well. Okay, and that's that. Next, I'm going to go in with this palette here, and this is by Makeover Essentials, the Silky Smooth Eyeshadow Palette. I'm going to use this purple shade. I'm going to grab my Sonia Kashuk blending brush and go into the purple color that you see. Just sort of kind of build up that transition, going right under where we just placed the transition color. As you guys can see, I'm going on an angle to create a sort of a cut crease, but like an invisible one. I don't want a really sharp cut. I just wanted to give my eyes that almond shape that I like. And I'm blending, I'm not taking this darker shade, which is purple, all the way in. Just stopping in the halfway point. I'm going to grab my Coastal Scents blending brush and just blend that out. Very, very subtle, you guys. Nothing too harsh. Okay, now I have the shape of the eyeball that I want. And with makeup, you pretty much can create any shape that you want, however you want your makeup to look. Next, I'm going to go in with a flat eyeshadow brush. This is also out of the polka dot set from Coastal Scents. I'm going to spray it with some Fix Plus just so that it can pick up the pigment. These colors are really subtle, so I wanted to let it show up. Now I'm going to go in with this lighter pink shade here. And I'm just going to pack that on the lid. Try not to sweep it. Try to just pat it on. You get the best color payoff if you pat. Okay? And as you guys can see, I wanted a really, really subtle look. So I am not going too heavy with this. Okay? If you lose some of the purple shade, you can just go right back in with your blending brush, pick it back up again, and deepen it. So I'm just bringing it in towards the back end. I'm doing this in circular motions so it could really pick up the color, like so. Okay. Alright, for my brow bone highlight, I'm going to go into my Urban Decay Smoke palette, and I'm going to pick up this color Freestyle here. It's a relatively bright shade, but I wanted to really make these brows show, blow off the excess. So I'm going just underneath the tail of my brow, and you see what that does? Bam! It really, really gives you a shape to that brow. I'm going to go back in once more with the purple, and then I'm going to apply my liner and lashes off camera, come back for part 2 so we can get this face done. The eye was very, very simple, so keep on watching.